Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of One Day at a Time Space Engineer Survival Playthrough. We are on our way back to the Trade Operators Coalition, and before I get started, I'm going to let you know 2 hours and 22 minutes and 2 seconds of footage, and for whatever reason my mic wasn't working. So there's not going to be a whole lot of commentary. In fact, there's going to be a bunch of time lapse, some edits out to shorten this up to get it to a reasonable length. But the big thing is we are taking all the salvage that we're going to be selling, and we're going to be trying to sell it at the Trade Operators Coalition. I have finished the rebuild of the compensator. Also finished the rebuild of our unnamed small grid hydrogen shuttle, and also finished the repairs on the Atlas. I may jump in a little bit later when it comes time to try to sell the small grid shuttle. We did run into an issue there. It had too many blocks. It was outside the sellable limit. So don't have that, but we do sell the Corvette, we do sell the Light Star, and then decided to try to get some more research points. We had a dangerous encounter out there, and just as I was about to go after an Ember dangerous encounter, sure enough, Parallax was nice enough to send a ward of Lothian our direction. So the whole last part of the video is going to be capturing that ward of Lothian and then figuring out what we're going to do with it. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys watch the video. Again, I'm going to try to get it down to a reasonable length. Otherwise, I will see you guys at the end or at any place I feel I need to jump in and explain what's going on. So thanks again for checking out the video, guys. Hope you like it. Here, guys, we get an idea of what that compensator gunboat was going to go for. That was almost 30 million. The encounter Corvette was going to grab us about 82 million, and then our Light Star, that was our big 453.5 million credits. So the Light Star is definitely a good one if you're out there trying to catch that. So definitely a good one. After selling that, we jumped down to the ATM to check out what our current bank balance is, and we are sitting at just over 3 billion space credits. So we are doing good. Before selling our small grid hydrogen shuttle, I wanted to show you guys what it looked like after it was complete. It was just kind of time consuming to get it built, just because we couldn't find a blueprint. We went in and basically used the symmetry of the ship to be able to fill in the blanks. I did replace the guns up here with the Type 2 Gatling turrets. We had a Type 1, and then we had an autocannon, but just so you know, an autocannon does not have a conveyor connection that works in this setup, so it would not have been a useful weapon to have. So just keep that in mind if you ever decide to use one of these. Really the biggest thing that needed to be fixed on this shuttle was the starboard side loading ramp, passenger ramp, which was missing completely. Whoever made this has a pretty, I'm going to say, complicated airlock timing block system set up to open those doors. So we had to recreate that. It includes, it's either 3 or 4 blocks for each side. So It wasn't too hard to recreate the ramp for the starboard side door, and then it was just a matter of going in, figuring out what the processes were in the port side ramp, and then duplicating those processes for the starboard side. So everything ended up working out great. I was able to put in the missing timer blocks and everything before closing up the hull on the bottom side of the ship, and it worked out fine. So it's a nice little shuttle. Limited offensive capability, limited defensive capability, because you're really kind of limited to the gallon turrets. Other than that, there's really not a whole lot of cargo area at all, but it's a good get around vehicle. So after selling the subgrids separately, I decided to bring the ships in closer, and then I actually brought the shuttle in closer to the station, because I thought maybe for some reason it just wasn't seeing it because it was outside the safe zone. And this is where I started to realize that this might be a scrap purchasing grid limit issue. And if you look down at the bottom right, you can see it says small grid limit 2500. That's the number of blocks. So again, this is where that started to dawn on me. And there we go, 2,914 blocks. So just over 400 blocks above the small grid limit. So unless I cut this ship up into, like cut it in half and sell those pieces individually, I'm not going to be able to sell it as it is. After having done all the work on it at this moment, I really didn't feel like doing that. So that's probably going to change here in the future, because I don't want to just leave it sitting there, but we'll see. So after that, I figured it was a good time to go over the repairs and the restoration, basically, of this compensator. I don't know what it is about this color. I like this color. It doesn't really match anything, but for whatever reason, that I like that color. Now I still need to go in and redo all of the controls, the control toolbars for this ship. There are a lot of complicated things going on here, but the main thing is to really just, of course, put the stuff that I use in the most convenient places. A lot of the small grids we were seeing in the Trade Operators Coalition scrap purchasing menu actually come from this ship because of the solar panels that you see on the top. Those are all subgrids. So they're pretty neat. Again, this ship, I've seen this ship do some devastating things. I'm going to get off the ground here in just a second and kind of show you some of the stuff. And what I did discover was that the NPC version of this ship that's controlled by the NPC, AI or controls inside MES, has all the benefits of never running out of ammo, doesn't run out of fuel, all that sort of stuff, is a lot different than what we've got here. I have seen these ships zoom by in an NPC format. Like, they're fast, they're maneuverable, everything. But as you can see here, this version is not. So I'm not sure if that's going to change my intended use for this ship, but we'll see. It was shortly after that that I was contemplating, okay, we need to start picking up some research points, and we have the Ember Dangerous encounter. But as I went out to engage with that, this Horde of Lothians showed up. So, you know, I love Parallax, and we've captured a Horde of Lothian before in another playthrough, so we know it's possible, and that's what we're going to do. So the rest of this video, guys, is going to be that capture process. I'm going to bump it up to about, I'm going to double the speed, so it won't be too fast. But this actually, with one minor exception, this was one of the cleanest captures I've had. This is not an easy ship to capture solo. It definitely helps if you've got the hostile takeover, but this one turned out to be pretty clean. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. I'll catch up with you guys at the end.
You seem to know the way. Have you considered our inventory DLC? Please check inventory for extraneous tools. 1. Please check inventory for extraneous tools. You do realize I'm the one keeping you alive. Maybe you should keep my battery topped up with that in mind. Warning, please check inventory for extraneous tools. Inventory is full. Maybe consider changing game setting. Warning, please check inventory for extraneous tools. Warning, please check inventory for extraneous tools. Engineer, a steel plate cannot get to your inventory. Inventory is full. Maybe consider changing game settings. No matter how hard you push, that will never fit. No matter how hard you push, that will never fit. Engineer, a steel plate cannot get to your inventory. Engineer, a steel plate cannot get to your inventory. Engineer, a steel plate cannot get to your inventory. Power low. Disconnecting browser. Disabling Netflix.
All right, so we finally got this thing captured and brought it back to the Trade Operators Coalition. I was really excited to see, one, what this ship was going to sell for, and two, I was looking forward to adding another suit upgrade. And since we've got the 2 research points now, that's what I was looking forward to. So let's see what. Put your guesses in now. Alright, so when it came to our upgrade, we've got enough to get either 2 level 1 upgrades, or we can get a level 2 upgrade. And this was actually going to be an important upgrade. We've got 1 upgrade for jetpack inhibitor, we've got 1 for anti-personnel inhibitor, we've got 1 for anti-energy. Now we've got 3 for damage reduction. I would really like to start hitting incon ships a little bit more. They're harder to get to because they're usually well armed, but that energy suppression is pretty tough. So to improve my chances of being able to capture some of these incon ships like gremlins, super gremlins, clanging gremlins, all that kind of stuff, I decided to go with the energy suppression inhibitor upgrade. So that should give us a little bit of extra time to get those incon ships. So that's what we went with. So as you can see, guys, the Ward of Lothian is comparable in size to the Shepherd's Pride, which is a repurposed Thunderhelm. Very close to the same size. Key differences are this. The Ward of Lothian has small individual hangars, 3 on each side. It has a more robust armament. It also has atmospheric capability. It has, I think it's either 6 or 8 large atmospheric thrusters, as well as landing gear, so that it can approach, and I'm going to say an Earth-like planet, but a planet with an atmosphere and not plummet. Shepherd's Pride, former Thunderhelm, no landing gear. There's no real provision for landing on anything. But what it does have is a very functional industrial center side. It's got 1 large hangar. Sorry, we'll say 2 large hangars, because it does have the hangar in the front where we have our miner. But it's also got the flight deck. The armament isn't as tough or as robust, but it's, again, each has its own strengths and drawbacks. So I really like both of these ships, and I am very much inclined to find a way to combine or merge these ships using the Ward of Lothian as a kind of makeshift nacelle. And what would be kind of neat, I don't know how ugly it would be, is if we actually caught another Ward of Lothian, if we could add that on the opposite side for 2. Be kind of crazy. There'd be a lot of work that would have to be done, but I really do love the design of both of these ships. I think it would look even better if we didn't have our Ember contraption on the top. I'm really sorry. I mean, I like having the extra thrust and that, but I'm really kind of regretting having to put that on board. So I think we could do some really cool stuff merging these ships. So if you have any ideas, let me know. But this is what we're looking at. I'm not feeling very inclined to sell this Ward of Lothian, even though it would be a large amount of space credits. Of course, we've got a pretty large amount of space credits, so that might be part of the reason why I'm not inclined to sell it. You know, maybe if we were short of cash, it wouldn't be a question. I would just sell it and we'd be good to go. But we're going to need to collect more research points to get our suit upgrades. And I don't know, there's part of me that would that would really kind of like to see if we were to end up doing something where we have 2 Ward of Lothians attached as nacelles and as like landing pods for our ship. Going into one of those Factorum encounters where you're, the warship or the damaged cargo ship, and you've got the barrages to fight off, all of that, I would love to see that fight. I think that would be great. Well, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for checking it out. I'm sorry about the audio issues with the microphone and losing the original recorded commentary. I hope you guys don't mind the adjustment we made. Let me know what you think. Do me a favor, if you like the video, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell, and share it if you know somebody that might like the content or like the channel. And then, of course, leave comments. What do you think we should do with this War to Lothian? What do you think we should do after this? And I will look for your suggestions. Thank you so much, guys. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and always, always be safe. Remember, close that visor, don't forget your damners, and I will definitely see you on the other side. But until then, I should go.